Hi, this is Ross Jeffers from mobileburn.com and androidauthority.com, and here today with me I've got the HTC Legend. The Legend was recently announced at Mobile Congress 2010, and now we've actually managed to get our hands on the handset just 2 weeks later. As you can see, it's a quite attractive looking handset, and it's all carved from one piece of aluminium. It's a nice aluminium unibody, very strong, very tough, but also very pretty looking, as you can see. Also got a 3.2-inch capacitive AMOLED screen, so a very bright screen as well, and a 5-megapixel camera with a flash around the back there. It's got these little soft touch sort of rubberized plastic bits as well at the bottom and top of the back piece, and this part unclips for the battery and SIM card and micro SD card to fit in here. But we'll show you more of the phone a bit later on. Just going to do a quick unboxing first for you. So as you can see, the first thing in the box is the battery. Quite a large battery, 1300 milliamp hours, so it should keep you going for a good day and a half, 2 days, hopefully. Next up in the box we've got the data cable. As you can see, it's just a regular USB to micro USB, and that just plugs straight on in the bottom of the Legend there, as you can see. This also plugs into this AC adapter here, so the large end just goes into the adapter, and then you've got the UK plug in on the end here. Obviously have a European plug depending on where you are, and that can just be plugged into the wall and used to charge the phone normally using the data cable, which is quite handy. Otherwise, we've just got a set of headphones which use a normal 3.5mm headphone jack that you get on most sort of iPods and MP3 players. The headphones themselves don't look great, they're a bit sort of plasticky, but at least you do get some sort of foam tips to help keep them in your ears a bit better, and also a clip to clip them onto your shirt or your tie. And also included in the headphones, you can see it's got sort of an inline microphone here for making calls as well, and some buttons to control the music and also answer calls and skip forward and back through tracks and stuff, so that's pretty handy too. And that's what we've got in the box here. As you can see, though, it's a plain box, so it's not sort of a final release version, but that's a good indication of what you can expect to get in the final release. Okay, so here we've got the Legend itself. We just take this plastic covering off. It's just a protective covering that tells you not to put the phone in your pocket and sit on it or anything, which is, I suppose, goes without saying. Regardless of that, it's still a pretty tough phone because it's made from a single block of aluminium. As you can see, the aluminium follows all the way around the device. It's just machined from one piece, so it's a pretty tough phone. And we've got the 3.2-inch screen on the front here. It's a capacitive touch screen with multi-touch, so you can do all pinch gestures and different things like that. And it's also an AMOLED display as well, so it's got the new OLED technology in it, so it's very bright and also uses less power on darker screens. Down the bottom here we've got this, maybe able to see it here, this is an optical mouse. So instead of the trackball that we had with the previous, the Hero, we've got this instead, which is like an optical trackpad, I suppose. And then a little button around it, which is what this little circular part around the outside is. At the bottom of the screen here we've also got the home, menu, back and search buttons, and they're actual proper hardware keys. They're not touch sensitive, which is pretty nice. It means you don't accidentally press them when you're using the screen. On the bottom of the device we've got the micro USB port, a little lanyard fixing there, and the microphone pinhole. On the left side we've got the volume rocker and nothing else. On the right side it's completely bare, and on the top we've got the 3.5mm headphone port and the on-off power switch there as well. On the back you can see we've got this nice HTC logo, which is sort of like a chromed logo. We've got the 5-megapixel autofocus camera lens and an LED flash beneath it. Then you've got the speaker grill here for the speakerphone, which can also be used for music and different bits and pieces. And then these rubberized sections here just around it, which I think actually sort of offset the silver of the device pretty well. Black and silver colour scheme looks pretty nice, as you can see. Okay, so you might be wondering whereabouts on the HTC Legend you put the battery and the SIM card. As you can see, there's no real sort of back cover because it's all one single piece of aluminium all the way through. So it's actually in this part at the bottom here, which is like a rubberized soft touch plastic, so it's pretty scratch proof and grippy, which is quite nice. And as you can see, we've got this sort of weird arrangement at the bottom here, and if we basically just stick a nail under there, we can flip this part down, and then just up under here you can slide the SIM card, a micro SD card, and also put the battery on top of all of that. So pretty funky little thing. Let's just load in a SIM card now. See how that goes in. See, it just slides on in there and clips into place. And then we've got a micro SD card here as well, so if we just try and slip that down in. It's pretty fiddly because it's all down inside the body, but you can hear it all clips in pretty nice. And then lastly we've got the 1300 milliamp hour battery, which just slides right on in there like that. And to get the battery back out, we've got this little red catch at the side here, so we can just pull it out like that. So just clip that back on there, all clips firmly into place, and then this cover clips on top of that. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the HTC Legend all fired up now, and you can see the display is very bright, especially with this nice bright background that HTC have put on the device. As you can see, we've got all our usual widgets that we've seen in Sense before. A few of them have been tweaked. For example, this friend stream widget, which shows both your Twitter and Facebook updates to keep everything nicely in one place. And you can see everything runs pretty smoothly. It's all pretty slick and quick to work. It's got a 600 MHz processor on board the Legend, so that's why it's pretty quick. As you can see, we've also got these tips here that come up. This one's showing us one of the new features of Sense, which is this pinch thumbnail view. So if we just close that tip, we can do the pinch gesture, and you can see it shows all our windows that are open. And then we can just select one of those windows, and it flicks straight over to it, which is quite handy. You can also press the home button to do the same thing, as you can see there. So it's all pretty nice. It's kind of like Expose on the Mac, I suppose, in a way, which is one of my favourite features on the Mac, so I'm quite happy to see it here on the Legend. We've also got all the usual different things like the bookmarks widget. We've got space to put new widgets, so we can just press and hold to add them. And we've got things like the usual weather widget, favourite contacts widget, and email and things like that, as you can see there. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, instead of the Heroes trackball, the Legend has this optical joypad down the bottom here. And if I just move my thumb across it, as you can see, it can be used to switch screens and generally navigate around the phone. So it can be used in the same way as a trackball, and it works in all directions. If we just open up the menu here, we can show you. So I can move down and across with the trackball. And then the ring around the actual optical part of the trackpad can actually be used, it's actually a button, so you can just click it in there and it'll actually open what you've selected, which is quite handy. So that's pretty neat, and you can use it, there you go, to move between all different kinds of things on the phone, or go back and edit text, for example, if you type something wrong. And it's quite a nice tactile click as well, as with the buttons beneath the screen.